Hey Gary, as always, thanks for joining me. So today we're going to talk about this thing called CBRS, and I just want to start. What is this? What does it mean? And what do these letters mean? What is CBRS?
Yeah, so Nathan, good to talk to you again. So CBRS stands for Citizens Broadband Radio Service. It's a cellular network that operates within the 3.5 gigahertz to 3.7 gigahertz frequency. CBRS was historically used by the United States government for radar systems and satellite communications and was officially rolled out, I believe, in the 2015 timeframe.
Okay.
Since then, several other entities and industries have begun to adopt CBRS for various purposes, such as manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare. As CBRS has become used for mission-critical applications like IoT, asset tracking, video surveillance, voice communications, and so forth.
Oh wow. Okay. So there's a lot of use for it. So I mean, what are the key aspects of CBRS, and why should anybody care about this stuff?
Again, excellent question. So CBRS, which is very similar to Wi-Fi but works on the cellular frequencies, uses a shared spectrum infrastructure whereby it uses a three-tier spectrum sharing framework to maximize the efficient use of the 3.5 gigahertz frequency. These bands are split between incumbent access, priority access, and general access. Incumbent access is a top-tier service that includes existing users like the US Navy and other government agencies and so forth for radar operations and satellite ground station communications. But other critical infrastructure operators, such as power utilities, transportation authorities, and other emergency services, have also started to rely on CBRS incumbent access for infrastructure monitoring to support security surveillance and emergency communications. So Nathan, it's very important that this part of the spectrum is protected. The second CBRS tier, which is PAL, P-A-L, again stands for Priority Access. This is the middle tier, which consists of licensees who have won the right to use a certain portion of the frequency within a specific geographic area. PAL users are also protected from interference from the lowest tier on the spectrum, which is GAA. And as I mentioned, GAA stands for General Authorized Access, and this is the lowest CBRS band, which users can use and operate within that spectrum, within that license. This band supports a wide range of technologies, including LTE, which operates on band 48, 5G, which operates on band 71. So we're seeing this band being hugely adopted and very popular for private in-house applications, as well as fixed wireless IoT deployments.
With what you're saying there, I mean, it seems like we're using this CBRS setup so much and so frequently on so many different levels. How does this actually work?
Okay, yeah, so it's again a good question, right? How does CBRS operate? So to manage this shared spectrum, the three tiers that I just mentioned, CBRS uses SAS, SES, which stands for Spectrum Access System. SAS manages the spectrum bandwidth among the three tiers. You can think of it similar to load balancing, whereby SAS does allow the incumbent networks to help prevent interference from the lower tier access, such as priority access and the GAA users. So it uses a SAS technology.
So for all these different companies, these organizations, the groups that you're talking about here, what are the benefits for them using CBRS as opposed to anything else?
Excellent. Okay, yeah. So there's several use cases that come to mind for using CBRS. The first being that CBRS enables private LTE solutions for the enterprise, in that CBRS now offers a wide range of diverse applications, such as enhancing in-building wireless coverage or supporting IoT networks. CBRS is also being used for rural broadband internet access. CBRS, Nathan, also offers a lower cost of entry, since part of the spectrum is available on the general access side, i.e. no fees associated with it. Of course, lowers the barrier to entry. So smaller companies that are wishing to create private wireless networks or IoT deployments can use this band, etc. Right, so they can use it without paying expensive spectrum licenses, which was the case in the past. Overall, I would say CBRS is seen as a significant step towards a more efficient and secure use of the wireless spectrum, offering new opportunities for both large and small players like myself in the wireless industry to provide, new IoT solutions, basically.
We know with anything like this, with as many good things that come from it, anywhere we're doing good and anywhere good stuff is happening, bad actors are trying to come in and mess that up. So, I mean, what are the risks and threats that are associated with this? Because there's got to be some. So, what are they associated with CBRS?
Yeah, like any technologies, particularly within the cellular spectrum, right? CBRS is susceptible to things like IMSI catchers or stingray attacks. If you don't know what an IMSI catcher is, an IMSI catcher masquerades as a legitimate cell tower, tricking phones into connecting to them. This allows for attackers to intercept calls, texts, and data, as well as track the location of the mobile devices. So CBRS, Nathan, is vulnerable to man-in-the-middle attacks as well. This is where attackers can, intercept and alter the communications between a mobile device and a cellular network, now becoming very common as IoT deployments are now using CBRS as a preferred network over traditional Wi-Fi. This can be done by creating a rogue base station or exploiting vulnerabilities in the signaling protocol. So CBRS can also be used or be a victim of denial of service attacks. These attacks can target specific individual users or entire networks, overloading them with traffic to degrade or disrupt service. In LTE and 5G networks, this could involve the overwhelming of the network's signaling channels. So another area that CBRS is susceptible to is downgrade attacks. This is where attackers might force a device to downgrade from a secure network like 5G to a less secure network like 3G or even 4G, exploiting the weaker encryption and security protocols being used on those. So at the end of the day, there's also protocol exploits in cellular networks, and that'll also affect CBRS. These vulnerabilities in the protocol used by LTE and 5G networks can also be exploited to conduct various attacks, including location tracking, eavesdropping, or interrupting the services. They're called protocol attacks. These protocol attacks exploit vulnerabilities in the signaling system used for communication between the devices and the networks, and it basically enables attackers to intercept calls, texts, and data and so forth. So these are just some of the few attacks that can be had by CBRS, and of course they all typically come through fake base stations, typically known as an evil twin attack. This involves setting up the rogue base station to mimic legitimate cell towers, allowing these attackers to come to me before they go into the legitimate tower. So again, it's all about manipulating the call, messaging, and data. So in summary, right, exploiting vulnerabilities in the CBRS cellular network just allows attackers to access and manipulate the data, which can lead to privacy and data breaches and so forth. So here, that's some of the issues associated with CBRS and cellular in general.
Right. Well, and I mean, with that being the case, I mean, I know you are an expert in this field, and obviously Lock Technologies, this is what you guys do. So how do you secure a CBRS network? So like, what are your customers doing? How do you help your folks?
Yeah, so securing CBRS involves a combination of strategies and technologies, many of which are in use today, such as intrusion detection, prevention systems at the highest level. But in order for intrusion detection systems to be effective in CBRS, cellular networks in general, you need a fundamentally new approach to the problem. Specifically, you need a software-defined radio like this at the edge that understands the frequencies that CBRS uses. Again, this 3.5 gigahertz to 3.7 gigahertz frequency. Through the use of AI and ML, our software-defined radio that sits inside our AirShield product, allows us to interpret the risks and threats associated with the infrastructure and the devices connected to it. So security practitioners, people listening to this, we all know you cannot defend what you don't know. Therefore, the core security tenets of any viable cybersecurity solution should be that of asset discovery, asset classification, risk analysis, and hopefully the solution can rank the orders in order of severity, so you can fix the most important things first, etc., etc. And hopefully you're doing all this before incident or loss occurs. But because of the prolific use of wireless adoption, especially within IoT, we need to be able to do continuous monitoring of the network along with the client behaviors. That's really essential, especially within ICS and OT environments, critical infrastructure, because the lateral movement of compromise is now starting at the edge, which is typically wireless, if that makes sense. So you need a software-defined radio that sits inside the AirShield product that provides continuous assessment and coverage, and we call that wireless airspace defense, a solution, Nathan, that provides that level of visibility across the cellular CBRS deployments. So AirShield is designed to alert you to your first line of defense, which is breach of policy. AirShield will provide you with a second line of defense, which is the ability to identify and fix these CBRS vulnerabilities before loss occurs, hopefully. And then, of course, your third line of defense is to provide mitigation through the use of our AI and ML capabilities, which is integrated with the CBRS core. And that's what we provide here at Lock. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Well, Garry, it's always an education talking to you. Thank you so much for taking your time for me today. And I just really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.